Hey there! Welcome back to our channel where we explore the quirks and wonders of different cultures around the world. Today we're going to talk about some things that are perfectly okay in Japan but illegal in other countries around the world. As a bonus, you're also going to learn something about Japan that would absolutely leave you shocked, and it's about why begging is frowned upon in Japan. Trust me, you want to hear all about this particular regulation, so stick around until later on in the video for all of that. Welcome to our channel, where we share with you all of the amazing places on this planet. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video, and if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Without further ado, here we go. First up on our list of perfectly okay things in Japan is the age of consent. In most countries, the age of consent is around 16 or 18 years old, but did you know that in Japan, the age of consent is just 13 years old? That's right, individuals as young as 13 years old can make decisions about their bodies without any legal repercussions. Now, before you start thinking that Japan is some kind of wild, lawless land, understand that Japan has a very different culture when it comes to these kinds of things. In Japan, the age of consent has been set at 13 for centuries, and it's considered to be a normal part of growing up. Now, I know that this topic can be controversial, and we respect everyone's opinions on it, but the point here is that it's important to be aware of the laws and customs in different countries and to always respect them. Next is public bathing. In Japan, it's common to see people of all ages and genders bathing together in an onsen or public bathhouse. But in many other parts of the world, public nudity is a big no-no. Onsen is a cherished tradition that dates back centuries. It's a way for people to relax, bond with friends and families, and rejuvenate the mind and body. In many onsens, you'll find natural hot springs, mineral baths, and even outdoor baths with beautiful views. It's an experience you won't want to miss when visiting Japan. But why is public bathing illegal in other parts of the world? Well, it really comes down to different cultural norms and values. In Japan, public bathing is seen as a community activity that's focused on cleanliness and wellness, while in other parts of the world, it's often viewed as something inappropriate. So if you're ever in Japan and have the opportunity to visit an onsen, just remember to bring a towel and your best manners and enjoy the experience with an open mind. Next, let's talk about public smoking. You see, Japan doesn't have any national laws prohibiting smoking in public places. That means you can light up wherever you want, whether that's in a park, on the street, or even inside a train station. This might come as a shock to some of you, especially if you're used to strict smoking laws in your own country. But in Japan, it's just a part of daily life. However, just because there are no national laws against it, doesn't mean there aren't any rules at all. Some cities and towns have enacted their own smoking bans, and many businesses and buildings will have designated smoking areas. But overall, Japan is a relatively smoking-friendly country, and you'll see plenty of smokers lighting up in public spaces. So what does this mean for smokers traveling to Japan? It means that while you technically can smoke wherever you please, you should be aware of and respect the laws and regulations of the specific places you visit. Next on the list is sword ownership. Wait a minute, aren't swords illegal everywhere? To some extent, that's true. In most countries around the world, owning a sword is against the law. But there's one place where sword ownership is not only allowed, but it's actually considered a pretty normal thing: Japan. So why is that? Well, it all goes back to the history and culture of Japan. Swords have been an important part of Japanese culture for centuries. They were used by the samurai, the elite warriors of Japan, in battle and as a symbol of their status and power. Even today, swords are still considered to be a symbol of tradition and honor in Japan. Many people still practice the art of swordsmanship, or kendo, as a sport and as a way to connect with their cultural heritage. And because of this, the Japanese government allows people to own swords as long as they are registered and kept in good condition. In fact, you can even buy a sword from a licensed dealer and take it home with you as a souvenir. Now, this doesn't mean that you can just go running around the streets with your sword. However, there are strict laws in place to make sure that swords are used responsibly and safely. And if you're caught breaking these laws, you can face serious penalties, just like in any other country. But overall, sword ownership is still a pretty normal thing in Japan. It's part of their culture and history, and it's something that people are allowed to enjoy. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that subscribe button for more content like this. It would really help our small channel grow so we can make even more videos for you. Now let's talk about eating some unusual seafood, like whales. Understand that in Japan, eating whales is considered a traditional and cultural practice. Many people in Japan see it as part of their heritage and have been consuming whale meat for centuries. However, as you may know, the hunting and consumption of whales is illegal in many countries around the world. This is because many species of whales are considered endangered, and hunting them can have a negative impact on their populations. Japan has a long history of whaling and has argued that the hunting of certain whale species is necessary for scientific research. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that the consumption of whales is a cultural practice for many people in Japan, and it's not for us to say whether or not it should be allowed. So those are just a few examples of things that are perfectly okay in Japan but would land you in trouble in other parts of the world. Japan is a unique and fascinating country with many customs and practices that might seem unusual to outsiders, but that's what makes exploring it so much fun. Now to your promised bonus. You might be thinking, but wait, don't people beg everywhere in the world? And you're right, they do, but in Japan, begging is technically illegal. That's right, you can't just hang around on the streets asking for money or food. The reason behind this law is rooted in Japan's long history of community and societal responsibility. In traditional Japanese culture, people are expected to take care of their own affairs and not rely on the charity of others. This sense of responsibility extends to those who are in difficult financial situations, as it is believed that they should work to improve their circumstances rather than relying on begging. Additionally, begging can also be seen as a form of public disturbance. There is a strong emphasis on maintaining order and cleanliness in public spaces in the country, so begging can be seen as disruptive to the overall harmony of society. But what about homeless people? Don't worry, Japan has a different approach to this problem. The government provides a number of services, such as shelters and welfare programs, to help those in need get back on their feet. In fact, Japan has one of the lowest homeless populations among developed countries. So there you have it, folks. Begging in Japan is illegal, and there are both cultural and societal reasons behind it. But don't worry, if you're ever in need of assistance in Japan, there are several ways to go about it. Just remember, it's always better to ask for help in a respectful and responsible way. Well guys, that's it for our list of things that may seem strange but are totally okay in Japan. So the next time you're in Japan, embrace the culture and try something new, even if it's not legal in your own country. And if you want more fun and interesting facts about Japan, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.